Accucare Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine in Brick, New Jersey offers a state-of-the-art facility with all the best and current treatments. With athletic trainers, massage therapists, and doctors of physical therapy, Accucare has everything you need to stay healthy and perform at the highest level. Cupping, stretching, laser therapy, compression boots, and a full-body cryo chamber are just some of what you can expect at Accucare. Check out their website and social media links in my bio. No prescription is needed to see them. So call them today and start feeling and performing at your best. Again, thank you to Accucare for sponsoring the Shore Football Report.
Independence Division, also all new in 2023. That's pretty much the theme. Whatever happened in this division last year, forget about it because it's all new teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost every year, almost every division is just like, well, the name of the division is the same. That's about the only thing resembling last year. So this is the division Point Borough won last year, had a great run, almost got picked off by St. John Vianney there at the end. So there were some great games in this division. Now we have Barnegat, Brick Memorial, Brick, Freehold Borough, Freehold Township, and Matawan, all new. Matawan is a defending division champion from last year from a different division. Mm-hmm. So they're an up-and-coming team. Freehold Township, I felt like, was an up-and-coming team. Brick Memorial has one of the most exciting, prolific quarterbacks in the Shore Conference coming back, Connor Dietz. So this division is it's interesting to me. I mean, again, I think this division has an opportunity for Matawan to continue their rise under Coach Graber to getting back to the Matawan of old, a top 10 team, a perennial championship contender type team.
He's doing an outstanding job.
Certainly got to be a threat. I mean, when you look at this division right now in January, how do you see it maybe separating, at least on paper?
Well, I see Graber and Matawan making strides to get to where Graber wanted to be at with his program. They were very young, inexperienced players that he had, and he won with them. You have Colombo, you got Palumbo at tailback, a 1,300-yard rusher. You got Martinez, a quarterback, both sophomores. How about Jaden Elijah, the tackle who just got?
I just saw him on the basketball court. My goodness,
Wellman Cromes.
To think he's only a sophomore, he definitely stands out of a crowd. I'll say that.
He's like the blind side, that tackle. You have Wellman Cromes, a freshman wide receiver with offers too. He just has a long list of guys that he's excited about. So Matawan's going to be tough. We know that.
Then I'm happy for Coach Graber too that he's been able to keep this talent at home.
Yeah,
that's been a struggle during this difficult period for Matawan football before last season. Was a lot of their best kids from that town are on some other team.
The team.
So the fact that they're building a nice core there of some homegrown guys bodes well for their future.
I mean, they have a lot of guys back. They have 8 and 7, but Freehold Township, and talking to Corey last year, he says we're 1 year away, and he made the state playoffs, which happened three times ever.
Yeah,
there's a
very rare occurrence there.
And Corey has 10 starters back on O, 6 on D. So he's got a lot of guys that this is what he told me, that next year is going to be our big year. And they have Chase Enlow, that tailback. He's outstanding.
Yeah, I saw him in person last year. I thought he has some real potential to be one of the better, more versatile backs in the Shore. Not only, the guy who hurts you running the ball, but catching the ball out of the backfield and even deep down the field. He's a real nice threat. Yeah. Again, they showed flashes, there'd be a quarter or some plays where you're like, wow, they really got something here. So for them now, it's just about consistently executing.
Now here's
every
Brick
week.
Memorial. Brick Memorial's got Connor Dietz. We all know
Right.
that he was on the fringe of 2,000 rushing and passing. He's one of the top players in the state of New Jersey, and he's going to end Brick Memorial with a great career this year, wherever it lands up. But they also were 6-2 on JV, and they were undefeated in freshmen. Plus, you got Connor Dietz, you got Trey. Their freshman team was undefeated, and the best
And Talmadge
freshman
was on varsity.
was on varsity.
Yep.
Yeah. And they got 7 starters on D. They're going to be.
That's the area that we obviously. Dietz, I'm sure Dietz, the numbers are great and everything, but him, he's competitive. He wants to win.
Yeah.
Like, that's great that we get all these yards, but I want to compete for a division title. Like, I want to be in the state playoffs and be a threat. And the way they're going to do that is they have to be much better defensively.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to put on an absolute fireworks show every week half the time just to keep them in the game because they were getting in these wild, like 42-40 kind of games. And if that area improves, this team could take off because that was their major Achilles heel last year.
But don't tell that to Brick. And Lenny Zdanowitz and Brick, they have a good nucleus of sophomores, a couple key freshmen. One of them played varsity too. And he's liking the direction of his program too for the next couple of years. So he's excited, and he was talking.
Yeah, they were a weird team last year. Like, I felt like they'd have a nice win one week, and you go, "Oh, okay, they're coming around," and then they'd struggle the next week and lose. They were very up and down type team, but clearly the potential is there for them. But yeah, they couldn't put it together like on a week to week basis.
Freshman was 8-1, and they had a freshman starting varsity at DB, Rice, and they have 6 starters and 7 offense, defense coming back. So he's got a lot of good growth coming that way. Add Barnegat in the mix, which they're kind of, new to playing brick. We play brick for 2. I say we. I mean, Barnegat's played.
It doesn't. You can't. It's just instinctual, right? Like you can't get it out of your head that you're not.
Barnegat's playing brick for the first time in a long time. We are 2-0 against them, against brick. But I mean, it's going to be. I told Coach Covey, who's doing an outstanding job at Barnegat, that he's going to elevate the program by playing these type of teams, the bricks, and of course playing Mattawan again, which he played tough last game.
Yeah, unfortunately, it hurts when you lose your all-time leading rusher.
It does, but that's part of graduation, and he's got great kids coming back. You got Cole Toddings, one of the best outside linebackers in Shore, and Mike Juan Rush, who will be doing the heavy duty at running back. So new guys will be going there, but they got him in the right direction. I think this is a big challenge for Barnegat, playing these caliber teams. And Frio Burrow, they had a very tough year.
Yeah, it was a rough season.
I feel bad for Coach Ellis because he was just a couple years away from having Ashanti Worthy. Remember?
Yeah, in the state finals,
How quickly people forget. So, I mean, it just was one of those years, I think. And
I just feel like the numbers there have kind of struggled too, where if they get a key injury, because, pretty much their whole team plays both ways. So if a crucial guy goes down or something like that, they don't really have the depth to just replace that guy without a major drop off. So for them this year, it's more just about being in games. I mean, they had just too many games last year where the game was pretty much over by halftime.
What doesn't help playing Red Bank Catholic week 1?
Yeah, you're right. No, they played some really difficult teams. Their schedule was not easy. So that at least may have helped the guys that are coming back, that they saw the best of the best last year. So they know the speed and the ability that they have to be able to compete at that level. But yeah, for them, I think it's more about being in games, grabbing a couple wins, and like just getting the program back on solid ground, because Ellis and those guys have shown they can do it. Like we said, they've been in the state finals. They know what they're doing. It's just sometimes the numbers catch up with you. And at public schools, sometimes, you just have these.
Now, you said the key word, and that's where I kind of want to describe independent. Who's going to compete week in, week out? Because you can't, like Brick, you can't beat Brick Memorial, and then the next week in the consolation or the regional game lose, so they're not playing Brick Memorial again. But Brick Memorial kept winning. Like, who's going to compete every week? And the more consistent teams that compete will win. And I think Mattawan has proven that they were competing at a high level last year. They got these guys all coming back, and they're gonna be the front runner. I think.
And I think this schedule for them will, is part of their maturation to that. It'll be a little more difficult than last year.
But
I mean, they played Rumson to start the season, if I'm not mistaken.
But Corey Davies, you can't ever count him out, because when you feel like they're down one week, the next week he wins all the time. So I think this is the year that Corey's has won a state championship and has had some very good seasons at Freehold Township, and of course.
And usually when he has a quarterback who's very familiar with that air raid offense, come back for a couple of years where he can add new wrinkles, and they're more comfortable with everything.
Mm-hmm.
That just makes them more and more dangerous, because the more that he can just add to the offense makes them so much harder to defend. So really with them too, it's going to be, how's their defense going to be? Are they going to have to score 1 million points every week to win? Because I think the thing they've struggled sometimes with is up front, where teams who run the ball well can keep their offense off the field by kind of grinding 6-minute drives down the field. So if they can get a defense that can get off the field, they're definitely a threat. So I mean, I'm definitely interested to see, is this Matawan team a team that can go up to like a number 6 or something in the Shore Conference? Can they make that kind of leap, or is that pushing it?
Pushing it. You're saying 6. That means one of the American Division guys is not in there. Right. And I'm looking at it.
Basically all the American Division, and then maybe one or two other teams, and then or at least just a top 10 team. Lodge yourself in at number 9 or 10 and stay there. So they're going to have an opportunity right off the bat with that Rumson game. Like, if you want to come out and tell people your schedule, is accelerated as far as like how quickly these young guys are making the leap, that would be an area to do it. But they play Freehold Township September 9th, second game of the season. And if so that right there is a huge separation game, like right off the bat.
They open up with Cedar Creek away. I mean, and then they play Rumson, and then we play our division. So he's really, and talking to Coach Graber, he wanted to prepare his guys for the playoffs. They got there. That was a new thing. He felt like they could have beat them. They weren't consistent in the game. So he's preparing his team to get to that point and win it. And that's what he's trying to do.
Right. So, I mean, to me, Brick Memorial gets a defense. I'll tell you what, the Brick Memorial Matawan game could be definitely one exciting game to watch, as far as quarterbacks who can just light it up, and like athletes all over the field making big plays. That's certainly a game to watch. That's September 16th. And again, that's a big separation game. This is one of these divisions that you look at the schedule, by the end of September, we might already know, like, all right, this team's basically got it wrapped up, or they're pretty close to it. So that first month of the season is huge in this division, as far as, at least on paper so far, how it could be decided.
We talked about not having star power in the division coming back. This division, you're talking about quarterbacks. You got Freehold Township's got 2. Brick Memorial, I think he's got a decent one coming back. You got Martinez from Matawan that has a whole year under his belt. Barnegat's got a quarterback coming back too. Homedale has got not Homedale, and Freehold Burrow's got Rushton coming back. So there's some star power behind the centers coming back, which makes coaches, especially the offensive coordinators, a little bit more at ease. So let's end it right here. Let everybody watch, when we shut this off, the summary for every team and a little bit of fun info on every team history, and also who made the All-Shore, All-Conference, and All-Division teams from the Shore Football Board returning. So have fun with it, and I can't wait to see these stars play in a couple months.